3 years ago, I ruined the most important relationship I will ever have in my entire life with my son. He told me that there was something wrong with his breakfast. And I thought maybe, maybe I left a few eggshells in. And I sit him down and I talk to him and he goes, "You're not going to believe me." And I was like, "Son, of course I'm going to believe you. I love you and I want nothing more than to see you happy and successful." And he says, "Okay, my son, he says, when you set the breakfast down on the table and turned around, the eggs stood up and literally they talked. They said, 'I'm Gerbert, I'm going to go make TikToks.' And they ran off of the kitchen table. And I know you're supposed to leave dirty laundry at home. My family has a history of mental illnesses. I have an uncle with schizophrenia, and I tell my son, I tell him, okay, I'm sure it was real to you, but you're 14 now, so it's time to tell you that this happens in our family sometimes. I sent him to school. I told him to just have a normal day and try to put it out of his mind, hang out with your friends. And I go to my uncle's house as soon as I took my son to the bus stop. And I said, "Hey, I think my son is developing schizophrenia. Do you have any extra schizophrenia medication that you use that I could borrow until I can afford to get my son into a psychiatrist?" And my uncle, he's fighting his own battle with schizophrenia. And he's like, "You know what? I love you. I love your son, of course." So a week later, my son is taking these pills and he is a hollow husk of who he once was. He was a shell of his former self. An eggshell, if you will. And I get a call from my aunt that my uncle died from a self-inflicted gunshot. He had given us the last of his pills, thinking he could raw dog for another week without them, and I didn't go to the funeral. I was too preoccupied with my own son's well-being that I didn't even think. I'm like, oh, he's gonna be there for a while because he's dead. He's gonna be in the ground forever, so I can fucking go visit him later. And my son's better. He's getting good-ish. He's not hearing any voices, but he's not hearing anything. He's a husk. He's not talking to his friends. He's not playing Splitgate. He's not watching Moist Critical. All the things that he loved to do. He's not doing any of it anymore. And a year ago, I'm watching this TikToker, my son's favorite TikToker, a guy named Schlatfish, and I open his video and there's a very round guy on screen. Not Schlatfish, a different round guy. And he calls himself Gerbert. Gerbert the egg. And I'm like, oh, what a coincidence, how interesting. So I go to show my son, and I'm like, hey, is this one of your friends? And my son starts hyperventilating. He has a full-blown panic attack. He goes, "That's him. That was my breakfast that you cooked me 2 years ago. That was..." I thought he was making it up. The whole time I thought he was making it up. I thought, well, I didn't think he was making it up, but I thought it wasn't real. Who thinks that? Who thinks, yeah, my son's breakfast got up and ran out of the fucking house and said, "Oh, I'm Gerbert, I'm gonna go make TikToks." No reasonable person believes that. So we stopped the antipsychotics that we eventually gotten him prescribed, and he goes back to normal. He has a normal life. He gets emancipated. He completely cuts us off. And it wasn't until he had left the house and my whole house was empty that I realized I killed my uncle because I didn't believe Gerbert the egg could be real. And I've gone to therapy. I've gone to therapy for 2 years and the guilt hasn't subsided. And I don't know if it will or when it will. But please, if you see my son, tell him Papa wants him home. He looks like this. He's built like a 1x1 Lego brick.